9797, ticket text 97136. Good Monday, everyone. Hope you made it into work safely, made it to school safely, wherever you got to get today, because, boy, did we get pummeled at the wrong time. This isn't going to be some epic snowstorm. Not like they're getting out east, but it came at a time where we really couldn't do much about it. It's like not like the plows can get out and clear the roads during rush hour. So I really feel for the people without power, though, man. Boy, that made it. It's kind of like the double whammy for you, and hopefully you get your power back very, very soon. Doug Karsch, Scott Anderson, streaming currently on Facebook Live. If you go to Nice on One of Tickets Facebook page, you can see into the studio and watch us here as we get back to your open line calls. We go to Mark in Detroit. You're next. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
I like what they did. He's doing the same thing he did in New England. He's starting from the game of football, start from the line of scrimmage. The Lions' offensive line has been pathetic for 50 years, and I like what they did on the defensive line. And I think in the draft, I think he's going to address the other like linebacker, running back, all the other little needs they need. I think he's going to address in the draft now.
If you look at what they've set up, they've set themselves up to hit the draft heavy on defense. And I think that's what they're going to do. They won't ignore the offense in the draft.
Right.
But I think they're going to hit the draft heavy for defense. And
right.
I'm excited.
This is what I think they're going to do. I think there's a running back there. They'll grab him in the first round probably if he's a stud. But I think they're going to go defensive end first, linebacker, and then running back. That's what I think they're going to do.
I've seen the Lions try and execute stuff before and fail. This is the best plan I've seen.
This guy got a plan. They went out when the owner of the Lions went out and got him. She had a plan.
We lost you, Mark. But we're with you. Updating the Twitter results. This is one of the most lopsided Twitter polls we've ever had, and it's
which is ironic coming off last week when we had a Twitter poll that was literally 50-50.
Yeah. Here's the question. Doug gave Bob Quinn a huge stamp of approval on Friday. Gator jumped on board today. Do Lions have a guy who can build a contender? 76%, yes, Quinn is the man. 1%, no, don't like the moves. 23%, too early to tell. 248-539-9797. All right, Gator. WWE Raw, final time at the Joe Louis Arena. It's tonight. And you're not going.
No, I'm not going. But I do... feel a little bit of sadness when it comes to the Joe Louis Arena and knowing this is the last year for things happening at the Joe, and this would be the last Raw appearance at the Joe. I've seen a lot of wrestling matches earlier in my life, the first half of my life, I would say, and a handful of cards that I saw at the Joe, and it was always great. Going to matches is just a lot of fun. It's a different type of thing. I've never seen. I probably should have gotten a ticket to this because I've never seen a taping of Raw or SmackDown, and it's a special event. I mean, Monday Night Wrestling is huge ratings wise on TV, and it has been for the last 15, 20 years. But I haven't gone, and I'm not too upset that I haven't gone. But it's just one of those things. Okay. But I remember some great wrestling matches that I saw at the Joe, or just experiences there. When I was younger, I had an opportunity. I was in high school to interview some wrestlers at the Joe, and it was amazing to just sit in the runway for a house card and talk with Kevin Sullivan and Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner, and I got to meet Hawk from the Road Warriors and get his autograph, and Nikita Koloff, and it was a lot of fun for me just to be part of that whole thing, and I'll always have fond memories of the Joe from a wrestling standpoint.
Did this sell out, by the way?
I'm sure it's sold out.
Okay. Sorry, my bad. Because this is just not on my radar, but I do appreciate that a lot of people are entertained by it.
Detroit's one of the best cities in the country for professional wrestling. They really support professional wrestling.
So will this go to the new Little Caesars Arena?
Absolutely.
Okay. And they'll sell out there, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Haven't been people getting upset about what's going on in WWE lately? Because last week we got some chump votes. What did they do? They
didn't like Bill Goldberg. They don't like Goldberg. There's a couple wrestlers that diehard wrestling fans do not support. Goldberg is one. Seth Rollins, I think, is the other one that they don't There's a couple guys that they don't. Maybe getting Seth Rollins mixed up with the other guy. I always get that there's two guys that used to be tag team partners that get mixed up. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the guy that they do not like. They do not like Roman Reigns at all. Sorry, no offense to Seth Rollins. And John Cena is even kind of polarizing. He's either loved or he's hated, but he's got enough love that you wouldn't say that the otherwise. But wrestling's great. This is the last of a long run they've had at the show.
248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. If you're headed down there and if you've been to see Monday Night Raw at the Joe before and kind of feel any sentiment to it being the final one, we go to Reggie in Southfield. You're on 97.1 a ticket. Hi, Reggie.
Hi, thanks for taking my call this morning.
Sure.
Okay, this is Champs and Chumps. Hey, my champ hands down is Jim Beeline, coach of the Michigan Wolverines.
John Beeline.
Right, because I don't consider myself a scary type of guy, but if I get in an incident like that on the plane, you have a hard time ever getting me on another plane again. And to have them ready to play and to win the tournament, that has Champ written all over it. Chumps was anybody who didn't even think to mention the guy's name.
You mentioned the wrong name.
I did?
You called him Jim Beeline. But, yeah, what do you mean by that? You mean chumps or anybody who didn't vote for him?
Who didn't, I mean, not the Michigan coach not even getting mentioned, his name not even getting mentioned. You know, it's like, what do you have to do to be a champ here?
Well, he has gotten votes, and we've talked about him.
I didn't vote him in, but I did talk about him. I almost gave him the champ.
Yeah, you said you almost gave him the champ. I just to revisit something we said earlier, I can't believe that they have a perimeter-based offense that is one of the best offensive teams in the country. It's Ken Palm's adjusted offensive efficiency, which is 100 points per 100 possessions. Michigan's at 121.6, fifth best in the nation. Now, it just so happens the number one team in adjusted offense is Oklahoma State, their first-round opponent. Michigan's adjusted defense is 99 even, 69th best in the country. Oklahoma State's is 102.7, 133rd. This is going to be a shootout on Friday. But yes, John Beeline, to have a perimeter-based offense with potentially no perimeter players that will play in the NBA. Walton might get an opportunity, but NBA Draft Net doesn't have him amongst the top 100 prospects. He may be playing himself into that list, but to be that good offensively with perimeter players that aren't considered NBA guys is pretty good. Oklahoma State is one in the country. Listen to the rest of the teams in the top 10. Villanova, UCLA, North Carolina, Duke, Marquette, Wake Forest, Kansas, Gonzaga. They're keeping some pretty good company there. 248-539-9797. I think that's a huge credit to this guy and this guy's system.
Well, I think he's done a great job. For someone that seems to be on the hot seat every couple of years, they go on a run and he's off the hot seat, and he's gotten his team on the same page. I don't think that this Michigan team has extraordinary talent on it, but they are playing really, really well.
They're getting the most out of what they got.
Yeah, and this is what you do. When you're a good college team, you're able to do it with upperclassmen and underclassmen, and everybody is contributing. And this is what's happening right now. And you've gotten a guy like Derek Walton that just something clicked, and he's taken over this team, and he's leading by example, and others are starting to follow there.
Champ, the Michigan basketball team, chump people that drive with their hazards on. It drives me crazy. That's from Whitmer.
Well, why are they driving with their hazards on?
Yeah.
To let you know that they're uncomfortable so you can go around them or whatever the case is.
Going super slow. 248-539-9797. Open lines. Karsch and Anderson, 97.1 the ticket.